Hey, hi. My name is Matthew Brandt from Brandt Scaling, and I wanted to take a few minutes and just run through cash flow story, the power of one. I wrote a quick article on it today, but I really wanted to take a few minutes and show you how powerful this is. If you're a CEO or a private equity fund with a portfolio, I think you'll be very, very pleased to see this. Um, we're told most of the time by CEOs and others that they've never seen this before, this kind of power before. So I'll make the claim that this likely is not something you've seen. If that's not the case and you're very familiar with it, I would appreciate you letting me know because it would be a first, at least from a CEO. I think some of the more sophisticated private equity funds obviously know about these kind of modeling, but I'm not sure it's used by family offices, etc. Anyways, I'm going to run you through just a sample company. This is about a $24 million company. And rather than going through a lot of this, just to keep it short, I'm going to hop right down to the power of one, because that's really the work that I'm highly intrigued with right now, and I think you will be as well. In the article, I showed three different examples, and this is the third of the three. So we'll come back to this one last. Initially, I showed you simply this. Here's the initial starting power of one. Net cash flow for this company was 300,000. Operating profit was 2.3 million. And with no change to these seven levers, there's obviously no impact to those cash flow and operating profit. These seven levers we're going to talk about, they're very, very powerful. And I want to talk about the ratio of the power between these as well. You know, price increase. What's a 1% price increase look like? In this case, it increases cash flow by $190,000. Increases operating profit by 240,000. Note that a volume increase, increasing sales of 1%, produces only 43,090. So really keep that in mind. This 43 to 190 is about what, almost 5 times the leverage by increasing your price just by 1%. And that's a significant, powerful lever that a lot of CEOs just aren't thinking about. A lot of people think about price, revenue. I'm sorry, volume increases, revenue, volume increases, but they don't necessarily understand the power and the impact of increasing price. So here's also cost of goods reductions of 1%, significant overhead reductions, nice 1 day reduction. So every 1 day reduction in account receivables is nearly $66,000 back in your bank for every 1 day. Reduction in inventory days, $41,000 for every day inventory sits there, and increase in accounts payables, $41,000 for every day that you stretch out your accounts payables. So this simple 1%, I'm using this just as an example, although a lot of companies do this. They just take these very small bites. This increases your cash flow impact by almost $600,000, impact on operating profit by 550,000 roughly, and it brings your adjusted position, so where you began after these changes, up to this 894 and 2.8 million. You can see this impact is significant. Again, to keep it short, I'm going to run down to the business valuation. This company had a target value of 15 million. The current business was valued at 4.8. That's in the Ford multiplier. Big gap, $10 million gap. This power of one impact, just the 1%, added $2.3 million and brought the new improved business value up to 7.2 million. It improved the gap by $7.7 million with just those 1% changes. I mean, that's significant. And I would really love to hear your feedback on this because, again, I'm under the impression most CEOs just don't know about this, and even a lot of the funds aren't really operating this way. So let's go back and change these to some higher numbers, and we can just do what if. So we were looking at your company or any company. It's okay, 190,000 with 1%. What if we increased it by 2%? Well, that's a big jump. Huh. What if we did it by 3%? Wow, $570,000. It's brought our impact up to $974,000. What if we didn't increase the volume at all? What if we were able to lower our cost of goods? And if we were working on this together, we'd brainstorm this and say, well, what do we think we could get the cost of goods reduced by? Maybe it's 3%. It shows up as 441,000 and 450 respectively. What do you think if you and your team worked on reducing your overhead? Do you think you could bring it down by 4%? I think likely you could. Reduction in account receivables. I didn't show you the chart, but we track days receivable and days payable. And oftentimes you can bring this down by 5, 6, 7 days. Again, a very big number. Reduction in inventory days, let's say you brought that down by 4. And let's say that you stretched out your payables by 5 days. I'm just using some simple what ifs here. If we were working on this together, we'd obviously take more time and think it through and talk it through. But what I want to do is show you the adjusted impact, the impact of Power One on cash flow and operating profit. And to do that, we can look at the business value. So same target, same starting point, but now the impact of what the small changes we just made was $6.5 million. Your new improved business value is $11.4 million. So this is over the course of 1 year. If we were working on this together, we'd do the preliminary assessment. We'd review this quarterly, fine tune it, obviously update all the financials, take a look at what was working, what potentially needs more attention, and then produce all those reports as well. Just show you some of the reports quickly. This probably is not necessary, but there's a lot of backup reporting to this as well. Yeah, I don't think I'll go into this because I want to keep the video very short. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. Would love to talk to you, hear your questions. If you have pushback, I'm totally open to that too. And I thank you for your time. How much time did we take? I don't see it right now. Anyways, thank you again.